And we're now at in the 1960s. The year's 1964 to be exact. And this is probably the point when, for the Native Americans, everything has come full circle from that point when Washington destroyed Corn Planters Village in 1779, and the remnants that were left tried very hard to keep it going with a lot of help from the Quaker community around them. They struggled very hard, but it was unending or not very productive path for them. And so this is a point in the story in 1964. It was another hot, sticky July day in 1964. Rufus was glad he was inside. The frigid air from the window air conditioner almost drowned out the lyrics of Bob Dylan's "The Times They Are A-Changin'." Jacob entered. "Come into my office. President Johnson's about to sign the Civil Rights Act." The two men watched as LBJ signed the historic document with cabinet members, including Attorney General Robert Kennedy looking on. The camera kept zooming in on Bobby Kennedy's face as the document was signed. Rufus started to cry, remembering his personal loss on that fall day in November also. The times were changing, but turmoil was increasing. Violent opposition led by the Ku Klux Klan swept across the South in 1964. Cities were ablaze with the burning of Ku Klux Klan crosses. The killings continued when 3 civil rights workers were murdered in Mississippi. As newspaper headlines followed these events, the battle for reparations payments to the Seneca was still quietly waged in Congress. Despite Jacob and Son's commitment to the Civil Rights Act, the firm's focus remained on the reparations bill throughout the summer of 1964. The bill was still being debated in late July when the Democratic National Convention started. Rufus decided to stay close to Washington rather than attend. He knew President Johnson would easily win the nomination in San Francisco and probably win the national election. As the convention began, the nation faced a challenge on the international front in Southeast Asia. On August 2nd, President Johnson learned that 3 P-4 torpedo boats from the Democratic Republic of Vietnam's Navy attacked a United States destroyer. The President addressed the nation from the convention. The Maddox was on an intelligence gathering mission in the Gulf of Tonkin's international waters. Rufus heard the special report. He kept the television on all day the next day. Hanoi insisted it had not attacked. The whole world was watching and waiting. What would the President do? President Johnson addressed the nation, quote, "Our boats have once more been attacked. Therefore, I am ordering Operation Pierce Arrow, a series of retaliatory airstrikes against North Vietnamese boats in the area around the Gulf," unquote. Rufus listened to Johnson's congressional address the following day. President Johnson reaffirmed, quote, "The North Vietnamese have conducted further deliberate attacks against the United States naval vessels operating in international waters," unquote. He requested approval of a resolution, quote, "expressing the unity and determination of the United States in supporting freedom and protecting peace in Southeast Asia," unquote. He further requested support from Congress, quote, "for all necessary action to protect our armed forces," unquote. The hair on Rufus's neck began to rise. By day's end, both houses of Congress approved the resolution, authorizing the President to, quote, "take all necessary steps, including the use of armed force, to assist any member or protocol state of the Southeast Asia Collective Defense Treaty requesting assistance in defense of its freedom," unquote. The resolution passed in the House by a 416-0 vote. There were 2 nay votes in the Senate. Democratic Senators Wayne Morse of Oregon and Ernest Gruening of Alaska voted no. Senator Morse stated that he believed the resolution was a historic mistake. On August 31st, 1964, Congress passed the bill for payment of $15 million in reparations to the Seneca Nation. On September 24, 1964, the floodgates opened and raging floodwaters destroyed what was left of the once mighty Iroquois Confederacy. About the same time, there were reports coming from Asia that Communist China exploded its first atomic bomb. In October that year, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Molly Blake lay in her bed upstairs in the Schmidt family house. The grand matriarch was near death. She had been bedridden for the last 3 months, but had insisted on having the radio nearby. She had never gotten used to watching television. She had been listening to the radio most of the day as election returns came in. She fell asleep around 9 o'clock, but by that time, Lyndon B. Johnson had been elected president by a landslide. She died peacefully that night. News of Molly's death reached Warren, Pennsylvania the next day. Caleb Mueller, Amelia's brother, took the phone call. His mother Charity had died the year before. She had never gotten over Amelia's death. His father Isaac had not done well since then. His Aunt Hope was in her 60s and still in good health, but had never married. Caleb drove to her small frame house. He thought it best to deliver the news in person. When Hope heard the news, she wondered, who will tell the stories after I am gone?